he said it because of his wet blanket energy.
Unhinged. That's actually unhinged.
Hello and welcome to Sound Off in the comments below. That is our weekly segment where you guys pick the topics that we talk about. Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Stephanie. And you forgot to say it's a good time because it really is a good time.
I don't think we say that.
I feel like sometimes you do. You're like, you pick the topics we talk about and it's a good time. I guess that's more when we talk about Bachelor Encounters.
Bachelor Encounters.
But
you
I
haven't done in a minute.
We say this is a good time too. Whatever. Honestly, guys, it's all a good time.
Right.
You're in for a treat. You're in the right place.
Right. So you guys submit topics in our Instagram question boxes. A big topic at hand is the new website that Justin Baldoni dropped since we last recorded last week with receipts of
receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
I mean, I think, like I said last week, I think his defense team is stellar. Like, I think they're doing a very good job at least providing context or debunking things that she says, because I will say, I read an article that broke down Blake Lively's lawsuit. And when I read just that article, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to her. And it's only when you go through Justin's website that you're like, oh, wait. This is why that happened, and this is why that happened.
Yeah, I'll say two things, because now, since we released our last episode, I don't know where I stand, because I had some friends reach out to me that were very pro-Blake, and then they were kind of like, one, Justin Baldoni's PR team, yes, they are incredible and amazing, because they're Johnny Depp's same PR team, which is giving a little guilty. And
is Johnny Depp guilty, though? Didn't he win?
Yeah, I didn't follow the trial, though, so I don't know.
Johnny Depp won. Everyone is like, Amber Heard was the one that walked away as the one that like elaborated the stories. So I'm told.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm like, did he deserve to win? Or just because you win a trial doesn't mean you're innocent, famously, O.J. Simpson.
Saying that he has the same team as Johnny Depp proves that they're very good, but I don't think the general public thinks that Johnny Depp undeservedly won. I think people are on his side. I think.
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I don't know. So I'm trying to be open to all sides now. Yeah, I don't know.
Your friend said that was the reason why you should not.
No, Connor sent, shout out Connor if he's listening. He sent a couple other specifics, which you in the receipts that we're going to talk about, there's one or two things. I do agree with you that it does seemingly seem like most of the stuff that Blake has claimed, he has a good response or rebuttal and an explanation. There's like one or two that's still a he said, she said, but you know, we're not going to know the answers to that till there's literally a trial, right? Like if there's no proof of a situation, there's no proof. She says one thing, he says it went down another way. Yes once doesn't mean yes always. And so like there may be circumstances where there was a time where Blake did feel comfortable inviting Justin to her trailer while she was breastfeeding. And there is proof of that, but then maybe like another time he barged in and she was uncomfortable with that situation. So I don't know where I stand, but I think we should keep all sides open.
I agree with that, though. I agree that yes once doesn't mean yes always. She isn't naming multiple times, though. So I just want to say, like, he does have a rebuttal for the reference that she does make. I don't know. It's really hard for me to see her side of things given like reading through what he's said. And we take sexual harassment very seriously. And this is not to belittle Blake's claims. Obviously it ends in court and this is not up to us. I'm just going off of like what I personally have read and how I've taken it. And I think there's a couple of things. I have gone through a good chunk of the receipts, not all. He released a website that's like over 160 something pages, but I think I have a few points. One that frustrates me is that Blake's lawsuit is saying that Justin and Sony Pictures are to blame for the way she promoted the film. She said that they all agreed that they were going to promote the film based on a woman's survivor story and strength, and that it's not supposed to be they didn't want to pitch like a sad story. Fine. She did do that on the red carpet. Before we got on this call, I watched a variety of different ways she promoted the film. There were plenty of times she did say, like, you know, it's about Lily's strength and overcoming. And
I mean, this movie is a movie about a woman who experiences every color of the human emotion and the people who loved her and supported her along the way.
Beautiful. So you followed that. What they shouldn't have to take ownership for is your tone deaf way of saying
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
I'm going to promote my hair care line. I'm going to promote my alcohol line. Like, that's what people are mad about. People were not mad about you saying that Lily is a survivor. So grouping that all together under one umbrella is really unfair. And the receipts prove that Ryan and Blake, but really Ryan, wrote a statement and wanted it to be released by Justin and asked Justin to sign it, taking ownership for how Blake was promoting the film. And he's like, no, like, what do you mean? I have nothing to do with how you chose to launch your hair care line and spraying every single interviewer's hair in the interview like that. What does Sony or Justin have to do with that?
Right. I think one particularly damning moment for her was the time where there was one interviewer I remember, and he was saying, like, this is obviously like a story that's going to touch like a lot of women, and a lot of women have experienced this. Like,
someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you, and then we could
that is really bad.
Right. And so how is that Sony and Justin's guidelines on how to promote the film? There's a lot of choices she made that she needs to be held accountable for. And basically, I think she and Ryan were mad about the hate that she got over the summer when everyone started piling on. That other interviewer dropped that crazy interview that we always talk about of her being rude in the interview. She got a lot of bad press, and she wanted to pin it on someone else instead of just like taking ownership. And like, they wrote a full-blown statement and wanted someone else to sign it. And in the statement, it says, like, we take full accountability. Blake is not at fault for this. No hate should be going her way. It's like, if anything else, sexual harassment aside, that alone, that's crazy. There are some things in the lawsuit that, like, even if you are Team Blake, like, you have to see that some things don't add up.
I am open to all sides and things, and I agree with what you're saying. I'm just trying to like
see all sides. That's fair. You should be a juror.
I know I really should be. I hope they ask me. Like, that's the day to get jury duty in New York City is for that trial.
This will like exclude you from the running. They would be like, Your Honor.
I know.
She literally talked about this on a podcast.
Right. I guess why I'm also hesitant is it's like, what are we trying to figure out here? Like, what is I
don't know who's going to win, who's in the right, who.
I mean, so much, like, I feel like at this point, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but all the information is out there and we can have our opinions on it. But like, until it goes to trial, like, it is a he said, she said.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like a math problem. Like, it really is going to depend on the jurors in court. I just like I said, though, if you read an article strictly based on Blake Lively's lawsuit, like, you will side with her. Because the way her defense is great as well. And she has things that she says. For example, they said that he showed her a naked image of his wife. It was they show the image in the receipts of Justin's website, and she's like gave birth. It was relevant because she's giving birth in the movie. Yeah. So he was showing her. I mean, but then in Blake's lawsuit, he's showing her pornographic images of his wife. Like, it's not untrue, but you're leaving out a lot of context that paints it in a completely different light.
Okay, here's one that like I find frustrating because it's just like, we don't know. Like, okay, so the birthing scene. So for the birthing scene.
Yeah, well, this one is very he said, she said.
Right. And so basically, I guess I'm not good at explaining, but so there was a birthing scene and it was a totally closed set because Blake was going to be like a little bit more exposed. And in her lawsuit, she claims that there were all those random people there and it was super uncomfortable.
But in his receipts, he shows the call log and it says on it closed set. So it's literally just either the call log is wrong and it wasn't actually a closed set, but why would it say closed set? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But continue.
Like,
sorry.
Blake,
go ahead.
Well, no. So Blake says she had nothing covering her. Justin says she wore black briefs and a hospital gown during the birthing scene and was completely covered. So it's just like
stuff like that. It's like, well, we literally don't know. But it's the other stuff that's like, okay, you're saying it wasn't a closed set. Well, he has proof showing that it did at least say it was a closed set. So either it was supposed to be a closed set and something happened, or you're lying. Those are the more interesting parts. The part about her saying like whether she's naked or she's wearing briefs or she's wearing a gown, if you're saying one thing and he's saying the other and there's no way to prove it, then like, one, I don't care, and two, it ends in court.
Yeah.
I feel like Justin's team did a much better job at like making accusations and providing proof, whereas Blake is a lot of making accusations, from what I'm gathering.
The frustrating thing about this too is like, I thought they were going to have the trial in, was it March or May of 2025? It's 2026. Like, are we going to do this for a whole year?
The judge, like earlier this week or in the last week or so, said basically if they don't like play nicely, he's going to move the date up to get this done faster. And I'm like, good, do it. We want to get this, like, I want to see what ends up happening. Another thing I noted too is just like in the receipts, aside from Blake completely like bulldozing this entire movie, like it's exhausting reading through this and seeing how aggressive and controlling she is. Like she'll literally say to Justin, like, hey, I love the cuts that you made. Like, it's so beautiful and energetic. I'd love to see the raw footage. And like, she just wants to like make sure that you chose the best cuts. Or she took over wardrobe. They had like someone in charge of wardrobe and they had a budget of $185,000. Blake took it over and then the budget was $500,000. It just seems like because of her status as like Hollywood elite and married to Ryan Reynolds, she was able to get privileges on this set that I think if she was an unknown actress, she wouldn't get. But people were like almost intimidated and afraid of her, so they didn't want to upset her. And that I feel she's just using her fame to like boss people around. And that I think kind of rubs people the wrong way too.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Something I'm really trying to do in the new year is stay hydrated. It makes my skin look better. And the way I have been doing that is with Liquid IV. We've told you guys about Liquid IV before. They have so many amazing flavors that will keep you hydrated. You can find your favorite hydration multiplier flavors on their website. They have so many different ones like acai berry, lemon lime, and pina colada, which is my personal favorite. Or you can look into their sugar-free flavors like raspberry lemonade, white peach, and rainbow sherbet. Yum. Basically, how Liquid IV works is with just one stick of the product mixed in with 16 ounces of water, it will hydrate you better than just water alone. It is powered by LIV Hydroscience, which is an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and as always, it is non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So embrace your ritual with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. You guys can get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SHE'SALLBATCH at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SHE'SALLBATCH at liquidiv.com. I have a question now. Is there more information that's going to be coming out, or like is everything now out there and we are just waiting for the trial? Or I guess we don't know because like Justin released this website, but there's a gag order, but is the gag order only on Justin and not on Blake?
They asked for the gag order and it was denied. And so Blake asked for it against Justin. Again, why were you asking for a gag order if you know that you're right? I think they're asking for a gag order because they want them to stop because they're fearful that they have too much against her. Right. Because like I said, like, over and over, like if you just hear her side, you would side with her. It's only after you see the other side that you're like, oh, wait, some of this doesn't add up. It's not to say that I think there's wrongs on both sides.
Well, I think also too, we have to remember like all of this, yeah, there can be wrongs on both sides and both can be doing things that are frustrating and uncomfortable, but the trial itself is for sexual harassment. Like they need to prove, Blake's side needs to prove the sexual harassment. I have yet to see a piece of evidence that proves sexual harassment, which is not to say there might not be something that comes out in court, but like even all these other things, it's like that's the main crime, right? And it's just like we're just now waiting to see.
It's sexual harassment during filming as well as retaliation against Lively after she raised issues about his on-set behavior. Basically, she's saying that Justin created the social media smear campaign while they were promoting the film. Like she's literally suing him for that too. So it's more than one thing. It's not just sexual harassment. So she has to prove in court that the whole grab your florals thing is somehow Justin's to blame for that, which I just genuinely do not agree with. So, like, she's saying that this was plotted, like Justin, because they were frustrated with how Blake was the whole time, which she was very hard to work with, it seems, that Justin and his side planted stories and they planted things to make this social media smear campaign, which I'm not totally sold that they didn't, but I do think a lot of it was you too. He didn't plant you saying a lot of things that you said. He didn't plant you launching your hair care line and being kind of tone deaf, or saying, do you want my location tracker, when people are asking, like,
well, because weren't some people saying that, like, because some of the older clips that came out of Blake was released by Justin's team to make her look bad. However, she was making herself look bad in real time with the like active press tour that was happening.
And I believe the interviewer, the infamous interviewer that we all know, she spoke out when that was accused that this was a smear campaign. And she's like, I just saw that Blake Lively was getting bad press regarding the grab your florals thing. And I felt comfortable sharing this interview because I felt like other people were in agreement that she maybe wasn't like the nicest person. So I wanted to share it. Like, she came out and said, like, no one told me to release this. And also, how would they know that she had the footage? Like, it's just, I don't think he's to blame for her reputation going downhill. And I think even after the court date, I don't think either of them will really be able to recover from this. This is like attached to your name forever.
They will. Don't you think people, like, a moment happens and then people move on?
I don't know.
I mean, who knows? And for the record, I think I am Team Justin until further notice. Catch me in 2026. We'll revisit this.
Yeah, we were like ready to go to court in 2 months. I'm so mad we have to wait a year.
I know.
Well, we can move on to another topic.
Okay. What else?
I got a lot about Kanye's wife, and I think you did too.
I did too. So is that his wife for real?
Yeah.
Did he got remarried?
He got married to a Kim lookalike.
Very interessante. Okay. I guess I'm trying to gather my thoughts, other than, like, Kanye is a crazy man and he married a Kim lookalike and then has her parading around naked on the red carpet.
Also, they didn't go into the Grammys, which I recently learned. They literally just walked the red carpet. Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that?
I mean, he was invited. I guess he controls whether or not he goes in. Yeah, they didn't crash it. I think my initial reaction to seeing her on the red carpet, and if you didn't see it, she's literally wearing a completely sheer dress with nothing underneath. She walked onto the red carpet with a jacket and then drops the jacket and poses forward and from behind.
Yeah.
My initial take was that this feels like a woman being held against her will. And I thought I was alone in that. And then I looked online and saw that, like, every other person agrees that this doesn't feel like someone who voluntarily chose this.
But why are you saying that? Yeah, I don't know if I get that, because
really,
I don't know. She's an adult woman who is benefiting from this, right? Like, she is Kanye's, like, in the same way Julia Fox totally benefited from dating Kanye for a hot second and then dumped him, and now she's Julia Fox. Like, why are you saying she doesn't have agency in this?
I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm saying it seemed like I think we know firsthand that Kanye can be controlling in relationships. I think we all saw when he
For sure.
threw out like 90% of Kim's closet and then bought her all new stuff because he wanted to style her. We know that he's a fashion mogul and is very, I guess, territorial over fashion choices of who he's dating. And I could see him saying to her, you know, you need to do this. This is going to be such a great fashion moment, and encouraging her to the point of, he's Kanye West and he has a lot. There's an imbalance of power here. This person is someone that we did not know until she started being with him. Yeah. And she may feel that she has to follow suit because she's with someone who's very powerful. The look on her face, it didn't look like she was pleased to be standing there naked. It gave me an icky feeling. Again, I don't know. I mean, she looked phenomenal, so maybe she was okay standing there naked, but I think the general consensus is like, something feels off, at least. Like, this doesn't feel like she wanted to do this. She feels like either she was very much persuaded to do this or forced to do it. And I obviously don't know if she really was, but that's the feeling
I
it gave
agree
me.
with you that of course there's 100% a power imbalance, but I don't know, the look on her, I don't think we can tell much from the look on her face. Like it just seemed to me like she was just kind of blank stare there, almost as like his prop.
That's what I mean though. Like
yeah, but I don't know if I think we don't know, she may be happy to be there. Like she benefits from this too. Who's to say they didn't both say, you know, it would be really shocking and get people talking about us. We do this crazy thing.
we don't know. And I guess we'll never know, quoting Kanye.
Yeah, and I guess just like it seems like this is exactly what they wanted, right? Like no one is being like, wow, this is a stunning dress. You should wear this. Like they're doing it for the shock factor and to get people talking, and it worked. And now we know who this girl is. I didn't even know Kanye had remarried a Kim lookalike, and now I do. And I just feel like that's the name of their game. It's like, do something shocking, get people talking. And so I don't know why we assume that she doesn't know where she fits in this like Hollywood chess and isn't playing along to like get her bag.
You know what I think the issue is? We have a man standing fully clothed next to a woman who's completely nude, and it feels very much like, this is my prop, she is my possession, she belongs to me and she answers to me. Why weren't you also naked? Like, why didn't you wear no shirt and something covering, you know, like,
I don't know. I just see it as a way to get people's attention, and it worked. You didn't watch the Grammys in general, did you?
No.
You're not a music girly. I feel like with the Grammys, sometimes I watch it, or sometimes I don't watch it because I'm like, literally, who are all these people? But then there are some years where I'm like, oh, it's like all the people, all the girlies. And this was definitely a year like for the girlies with like Taylor, Beyonce, Sabrina, Chappell, Charlie, Billie. Like it really was like a girly, pop girly Grammys. And that's really all I have to say about it. It was like fun to watch. I mean, yeah, nothing crazy happened.
Well, I thought Beyonce winning was like kind of.
Well, Beyonce won Album of the Year, and it's crazy because she's the most decorated Grammy recipient, I guess. She's won the most Grammys ever, but has never once won Album of the Year. And she won for Cowboy Carter, which I think was a great album. Totally.
What's a single from that? What's a single from that album?
This Ain't Texas. Woo! Ain't no
what's a second
hold 'em.
single?
16 carriages driving away. You don't know Texas?
Is that a second song or is that one song?
You know, that's two separate songs. You didn't.
I mean,
hear
I know the first one. I don't know the second one.
16 carriages. Yeah, I would say those are the only ones that are like singles. The rest of the album overall, it's not a radio album. It's much more like art.
Who decides this? Who decides this? And this is why I don't watch the Grammys.
People. There's like 13,000, no, it's like musicians, 13,000 musicians, they vote.
I think all like award shows like this should be voted by like
the people. I mean, there are award shows like that though. Like the Billboard Awards is based on billboards. The People's Choice Awards is based on the People's Choice. The Kids' Choice Awards for the kids.
I guess like, well, Sabrina Carpenter won, what'd she win? Like Best New Artist?
No, Chappell won Best New Artist. Sabrina won something for pop single, or I'm probably getting. Sabrina won something.
I don't keep up with this, admittedly, but like, no, album wise, I feel like her album got a lot more attention. And I had a lot more singles and a lot more popularity. I didn't even know.
I agree. I just think like when it comes to, I just think there's different types of music, right? Like Sabrina's album was bops and singles and had a lot of marketing and PR behind her. And Beyonce's album, I mean, I feel like she's Beyonce, so she can release something that's like a little more avant-garde and it will still do well. But yeah, it was not a radio album. It was not for like listening to at the club. It was more like thoughtful art. And she had a lot of like, do you know the one with Miley Cyrus, Two Most Wanted? That was also on that album. I'll be your shotgun right up till the day I die.
No, it sounds great though. No, well, someone wrote, do you think it was rigged based on like the Beyonce theory that people have to thank her? When I saw that she won.
I don't know. I do wonder if like the people voting were kind of considering like, hey, Beyonce's literally never won this before. maybe this is her time. But I don't want to take away from the fact that I think Cowboy Carter was a good album.
So
yeah,
someone wrote, what are your thoughts that Taylor didn't win anything?
that's fine. I don't think Tortured Poets is her best work.
Well, I don't either. But as a Swiftie, I'm surprised that.
Yeah, and sometimes I just think like you can. I like Tortured Poets a lot. I think you can. It just depends on who else is nominated, right? Like you can release like a really great album, and like this was a really really big year for the girlies. Like a lot of like Billie Eilish was actually favored to win Album of the Year over Beyonce, and I don't think Billie won any awards, and it just kind of happens because of who's nominated for what and who falls in what category, right? Like all it takes is like one song or one person to be nominated in a way that like maybe they fit the category a little bit better, and then you will like win nothing even if you're nominated for a bunch of things. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So yeah, Taylor didn't win anything because it was a big year. Like a lot of the categories she was nominated in, a lot of other strong people were nominated. If there's one thing that I think you should dive into is become a Chappell Roan fan. I think you would really like her music. It is a lot of fun bops. Like
I know it. AOTO.
Yeah, that one.
Right?
And
I know that one.
She sang Pink Pony Club at the Grammys. And the reason why I want to support her more than all the other girlies is so she is just a random girl. Like she's not an Nepo baby. She had no big marketing behind her. Random girl. Moved to Los Angeles to pursue music. She was signed by a record label, wasn't doing well. The record label dropped her. She had to move back to the Midwest where she's from and literally work a drive-through. Then she goes back to LA and she's like, all right, I'm gonna like give it one more year and then we'll see. Like there are videos of her, because have you seen pictures of her? Like she's very Lady Gaga-esque, like the crazy makeup, the crazy costumes, everything. There's videos of her just like a random like small girl at her piano, like in a little park singing like Pink Pony Club. And that was 2021. And then now to see like how in 1 year she's totally blown up and all of the Grammys are like singing back to her chorus, Pink Pony Club. Like she really is so self-made and didn't have like big backing. Like I think you could say, like I think Sabrina Carpenter's album was good. I think she's talented, but Sabrina Carpenter had a whole machine behind her to like make Sabrina Carpenter. Chappell is just like a girl who showed up to LA with a dream, had to even move back and work in a drive-through and then come back. Yeah. And has just like popped off so quickly because she's like that good. Like I think my friends were saying they saw her perform in LA before she blew up, and she's literally just like a girl in the back of a coffee shop like singing her little songs. And then all of a sudden now she's Chappell Roan.
You said 2021 and then you said a year later. It's 2025 though. Did you is that the wrong year or did she blow up in the 2022?
Her album came out fall 2023. I think she released the single though, Pink Pony Club, a year before that. Then she released the whole album, and then she didn't really blow up till all of 2024. And so then now we're in 2025, but the Grammys are for like the year of 2024.
Okay, so it's been several years that she's been out.
Yeah, like 2 years.
Okay,
since her album, but like
I'm not doing the math, but whatever.
No, but
it's
like
irrelevant.
in music,
it's
time,
been
like,
a very short period of time.
Think of all these other people she's going against, right? Like Sabrina Carpenter has been on Disney Channel since she was a child. Beyonce's been around forever. Taylor forever. Charlie XCX has been around for 10 plus years. Billie Eilish has been around since like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
So she won Best New Artist, obviously, because she's the newest, but. Listen to her music. Listen to Pink Pony Club and tell me you don't like it, please.
I'm sure I will like it. I like HOTTOGO. I will like it. And I like that story.
Like when you're driving in your car, what do you like to listen to?
Oh my gosh. Just honestly, I get inspired by TikTok trends. Like I am listening to 5 Seconds of Summer because of the trend. She looks so perfect standing there. And I'm like, oh, what a bop. And I'll like add that to my favorites playlist. And I mean, when Liam Payne passed, I like went on like a One Direction binge and was listening to all that. I mean, Britney, a lot of 90s music.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child. I like Beyonce. I just didn't know about her album.
I don't know if you would like the new album, because the new album, it is like, she has a lot of country artists doing cameos and like features on it, but it goes like, it's very much an album where like, it'll be like a 30-second like talking thingy, and then it goes into the song, and then like a little like vignette, and then it's, you know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. I remember Britney Spears did that in her first album. Remember? She's like, Dear Diary, I saw a boy. And then it goes into Dear Diary.
Yeah, it's very much like that. But it's country infused. So if you're not into that, you wouldn't.
No, I like country. I remember when she got into country, people were like, what are you doing? But like, you can switch genres.
For sure. But knowing what I know about you and how it takes you a long time to like get into a TV show, I could see how like I sometimes struggle with this with music that because it takes a few listens to really let the music like seep in and like get it. And so I could see that being hard for like you not wanting to like take the time because you really I feel like have to listen to an album like multiple times to like before you even like it. I feel for myself.
A good song is a good song. Give me a good song.
It needs to seep in.
All right, I'll seep
even
in.
The best songs, it needs to. You need to let it marinate before you can like decide if you like it or not.
Okay, I'll report back.
Okay.
Can we briefly touch on last week's Traitors because we're like a week behind from and like it doesn't come out now till
well because now we're recording this on Wednesday. Wait, so what happened in last week's Traitors?
Rob made it through. If we don't remember, we can just end.
Oh, and they got rid of Wes, right? That was last
week. Oh
yeah,
he got rid of Wes. I was just so happy that Rob made it through, but now I'm nervous that like this week, I think every week now until the end is going to be Rob.
Eyes are definitely all on Rob. I do think the whole like infighting of the Traitors is really interesting. The fact that the episode ended and like Danielle and Carolyn are so going at each other. The fact that Carolyn was the only one to go for Danielle and vote for Danielle, it just seems like they're really exposing themselves as having like beef outside of just being plain old faithfuls. I wonder if someone's going to put 2 and 2 together at some point.
Right. I mean, that's coming. But Wes was really pissed to go home. He like gave everyone the finger and he said, there's a reason why I'm the most, I think he said the winningest person in this room. I'm like,
what does that even mean?
I mean, I think he thinks he's won the most shows or something, but I think it was kind of brilliant getting Wes out. Although I said last week, I think he could have potentially tried to team up with Wes. And
you said that, but like how? If Wes has already like, no, dude, you're a traitor.
Yeah, but Wes admitted that he didn't want to go after Rob yet. He said he felt that Rob was like, it was not the time yet. He wanted to wait. So I think in the meantime, maybe they could have teamed up and tried to target someone else. Because if 2 powerful people all start saying like, oh, it's Gabby, they could turn people. But if you're by yourself, it's harder.
No, that's a good point.
I do think getting him out was probably in his best interest because he was going to come around anyway. But now I think Zac Efron's brother's onto him. And
to Rob?
He's got work to do.
Yeah, but they're the 2 that kind of created a bit of an alliance. I'm kind of worried when Zac Efron's brother finds out that Rob's a traitor. I wonder if he's going to be like heartbroken because they've been kind of working together this whole. I mean,
silly.
he's a grown
like,
up.
What is he supposed to do?
Out.
Like, what? Yeah. I don't get when people are like offended because what are you supposed to do?
Right,
Say like
it's a game.
Oh, I actually am a traitor though, but don't tell anyone. Like what?
No, I know.
You have to lie. It's the whole point.
So, I know, but I guess they feel like they're also like making genuine friendships, and to know that like someone you thought was your friend has been lying to your face the whole time. I get that that's not a good feeling.
I think the Ari and what's the girl? Is her Sari?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Sari. Her turning on Ari, I can see that being offensive because it's like, all right, you didn't know she was a traitor, but you didn't have to didn't she like screw him over at the end? Like,
well, no, they were both traitors and they were like, yeah, we're going to the end together. We're taking this to the end together. And then at the very end, she flipped it on him.
Right. That I think is betrayal because like you guys were in on it together.
And then I think the faithfuls in that season were so sure that Sari was also a faithful, and she kind of, obviously revealed that she was a traitor.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, they were so heartbroken. They were like, look, I told you about my family and all this stuff, but it's also like, all that can be genuine, right? Like she could still care about your family and just be like playing the game of traitors.
Right.
So.
She didn't choose to be a traitor. And I don't like when people are like, I'm not capable of murdering people. It's like, well, first of all, you're not really murdering anyone. And second of all, you don't have a choice.
Right. Like, are you capable of writing a name on a piece of paper? Because that's the murder.
So I'm excited to see what happens Thursday. But
yeah, me too.
This is going to come out Friday. So sorry for the mess up in timing. But we'll report back next week. If Jackie just got the screeners, we could avoid this. But that's on her. And then, so tomorrow we are actually interviewing someone that I definitely think you're going to want to hear from. And that interview is going to come out next week. So make sure you're subscribed to our podcast audio version. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed here as well, so you get notified when the episode drops, because I'm really excited. I think this person has a lot to say and has been involved in some drama that no one knows the answer to. And I think we'll finally get her take on.
I hope they're willing to spill.
We'll do our best, but
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. We'll see you next week. Is that it, Jackie?
I think that's it.
Bye, bitches.